Hello, this is just a quick guide, just so you can get 1000 Hz polling rate for your HORI Taiko drum controller. So the stock HORI Taiko drum controller only polls at 250 Hz, which means timing of inputs will vary by about 4 milliseconds. We can fix this by installing Raspberry Pi Pico with GP2040-CE firmware, and make sure your Pico comes with the pin headers, these things, and get a long micro USB cable for it as well. So let's go on the website. So you want to download the firmware, and then you just drag the firmware onto the drive itself, and that should just install the firmware. Then unplug the Raspberry Pi Pico. Now open up the Taiko drum controller, remove the stock board, plug each wire into the Pico, being mindful of which pins are reserved and which are ground. You see that information in the wiring here. As you can see, these pins are reserved, 1, 2, see which ones are ground. And don't worry about the layout specifically, because we're going to adjust it anyway. Just pay attention to what's the start button, which is S2, pin 22 here. So the Don and Car buttons, they usually plug in using jumper cables or jumper wires. And the ground wires go into the ground pins, of course. Now the tricky bit is the wires for the navigation buttons. They're too small to plug into the headers, pin headers initially. So you need to just take out each of the wires one by lifting this little flap and pulling gently until it comes out. And you can tell which button is which and which is the ground wire by looking on the board here. I like to mark it with a Sharpie as well, which is the ground wire, because that's the most important one to get right. As you can see, I just plugged each one into the pins. And yeah, I did make a mistake because these pins here are reserved and cannot be mapped, so I moved them over here. And then I covered it in glue, so because they're exposed and I don't want them to short out. And then you can see everything is plugged in. And then I mount it using a double-sided tape, and I route the USB cable where the old USB cable was before I close it all up. When you mount it sideways, it does close up nicely, it does fit. Oh yeah, configuring it. So yeah, hold the start button, well, what's considered the start button. And then type this address into your web browser. You don't have to memorize that, it is here. The web configurator. So yeah, just access here, and then go to settings, X input, host USB, save that. Gamepad settings, leave everything default, but the debounce delay, you need to set it to 20. I've tested myself different times, different values, and I found anything lower than 20 results in misinputs in the game. That's as low as I can get it, 20. And then go to configuration pin mapping, and then click this button down here. Then I'm on my controller here. Xbox layout. Left bumper is a face button. Left trigger is left Don. Not left on, left car, sorry. Right trigger is right car. Back is the minus. Start is the plus. Left stick press is left Don. Right stick press is right Don. Guide button. And I don't have a button for that in this thing, so just skip or stop. Save that. Reboot. Controller. And as you can see, let's refresh the page. Works. All the face buttons work as well. And you can see I've had it working on the Switch and I've had it working on PC. So that concludes the guide. Thanks for watching. If you need any more advice or tips, consult the guide. Links in description. Thanks for watching. See you later.